and welcome to today's short video. I'm so delighted you're here with me today. I'm going to be covering 3 simple steps to help you stop over drinking. Now, before I get into that, let me just give a few words about me for those of you who don't know me. My name is Anna Charles. I'm a life coach. I help highly functioning people stop over drinking without missing out on life. And really the reason I do this is this was my struggle. I was a highly functioning person, big job, lovely family, all the rest of it, was used to setting and achieving goals, but I couldn't quite get my arms around this drinking thing. I would want to drink less or not drink at all, and I'd find myself with a glass of white wine in my hand. And it was a bit confusing, frustrating, and certainly very annoying. So I set about trying to figure out how to change this. I knew my solution had to last for the long term, and that using willpower or counting days sober just was not going to work. In fact, to this day, I still don't call myself sober, and I don't deal with labels like sobriety because I don't believe they necessarily help. Anyhow, I decided I wanted to not want it, because if you don't want something, it's easy to not have it, not to drink it, and that is exactly what happened. And it's kind of still actually a huge miracle to me today that I have total freedom around alcohol. In fact, I don't spend even a nanosecond of my valuable time thinking about white wine. Quite a transformation. And this was so joyous for me and really such a miracle that I decided I had to share this. And I now spend my time working one-on-one with other people who want to achieve this same level of freedom around alcohol. So that's what I do. Okay, so back to today's video. 3 simple steps. The first one is I want you to stop telling yourself that you aren't able to stop over drinking, right? That you can't drink less. Because every time you say this, you're kind of reinforcing to yourself that it's not possible. The reason being, you're always bringing your brain with you. So much of my work is about the brain and how the brain directs what it is we do. It's really not about, this struggle is not so much about the alcohol, much more about the brain, because the brain decides what we put into our mouth, right? What we decide to consume. So if we go around saying, I'm not able to do this, even though we kind of really want to, that's going to create some level of fear, which gets our nervous system, sort of sparked up, creates fear, creates anxiety that we won't be able to do it. And of course, when it comes to drinking, so many people, when they feel anxious, what do? Well, they've taught themselves that to have a drink, and that will bring the anxiety down. So actually we end up getting into this loop where we're afraid that we won't be able to stop over drinking. We feel the fear through that thought, and then we solve that anxiety in the moment by having a drink, which then reinforces the fact that we aren't able to stop over drinking. So the first thing to do, very simple, just stop saying that you don't know how to stop over drinking, that it's not possible for you. And sort of a sub tip on that is would maybe get a sheet of paper, write down all the reasons why you think today that this isn't possible for you, then rip it into shreds or screw it up into a ball and throw it in the rubbish bin, right? We're not interested in those words anymore. The second thing to do is to stop asking yourself rubbish questions. People come to me and so often they say things like, but Anna, why aren't I able to drink less? Why aren't I not able to commit to only drinking a glass of wine and not 3, right? And what happens is whenever we ask ourselves a question, any question, our brain will go off and find an answer. Our brain is a question answering machine. It's one of the things it does, one of the jobs it does for us. But you ask a rubbish question, you're going to get a rubbish answer. So if you ask yourself, why am I not able to commit to this? It's going to come back with all the reasons, right? Because you never have, because you're lazy, because you don't put in enough effort, because you're not good enough, because you don't deserve the happiness, because this is the life you've decided and created for yourself, right? All of this stuff is really unempowering, and then you're feeling loaded down by these rubbish questions and these rubbish answers, and from that you are attempting to make positive forward progress. It makes things much trickier, right? You are here today, you're watching the video, you want to change your present, you want to change your future. So these unempowering answers to these rubbish questions are not helping. So stop asking the rubbish questions why you can't do something. Third point is I want you to ditch your past. This is another common theme that I see with people. They come to me and they say they've been drinking for 30 years. They've tried all these programs, all their family drinks. It's just what they do. They can't imagine a life without alcohol. They've just never been able to do it. All these reasons, but they're all gone. They're all in the past. Now, if any of these helped, I would say bring it on. Let's take all that good stuff and we'll move it forward in the journey within your transformation. But you know, and I know that none of this has helped. It hasn't helped so far. So we're just going to ditch it because I don't care. I don't care if you've been trying for 30, 40 years to change. You're never too late. I don't care if you've tried a million other programs. I don't care if you've been back at day one for 50 times in the last year. I don't care. None of that matters. So I don't want you to worry about it either. So we're just going to ditch that past. It's not relevant. You're here today with me and we are moving forward. All right, so those were the 3 steps right now. Very simple, but things you can start applying straight away. Stop saying that you can't stop over drinking or you can't drink less. Stop asking yourself rubbish questions and to ditch your past. Now, the next few days, I'm going to be back in your inbox with an email and I'm going to step you through from something that hasn't worked to a strategy that does work, right? So you can continue with this journey, continue with this transformation, continue changing your relationship with alcohol. But for right now, let's keep it really simple and just become aware. Become aware of when you talk about why you can't change. Become aware of when you ask these rubbish questions and become aware of when you're kind of gripping onto your past as a reason that you can't do something, right? Because none of that is gonna help. And then as we start to work more together, as you're on my email list and I start to appear in your inbox and start to get more into the world of possibility and what you can do, you will make those transformations and it will be amazing. But for right now, start work on those 3 things and I will see you in your inbox tomorrow.